to white-ass Jesus. Real simple. Look at all the similarities. That's not similarities. That is proof of plagiarization. I mean, you stole it. Wait a minute.
Plagiarism is continuing.
Listen, if I broke into your house and stole your VCR, I bet you're not going to come to my house with the police and you and the police agree that your VCR sitting up in my living room looks similar to the VCR that came up missing from your house. Hell no. Me and the VCR, all our asses going downtown. You know that. Keep it real.
The story of Noah and Noah's Ark is taken directly from tradition. The concept of the great
tradition of bigotry, because as you notice, you don't see anything around, okay? But, well, you make observation yourself.
Flood is ubiquitous throughout the ancient world, with over 200 cited claims in different periods and times. However,
the Great Flood was never no flood with all mankind dying. It was always a flood of consciousness of sunlight, where the people that was dumb as hell and couldn't understand what was going on, they drowned. And the ones who did survive were the ones who got in the ark with Asar, because they were the ones who was able to get in the ships that we're all seeing flying around right now. If the earth is going to be destroyed by water, I might be talking too much and I ain't supposed to be saying all this, but just so you can know, if the earth was going to meet a catastrophic destruction mode, certain ones will be put in the light ships that will stay in the light ships forever until the earth can sustain people again, and then they will be brought back to the earth and shot back to the earth as sunlight to live here again. Just so you can know. There was no freaking Moses and no damn boat. How you going to put all those animals in the ark for, what was it, 40 days and 40 nights? They all defecating and pissing, and he had to feed them all, and it was just a task that was too. And when you see the light, the sun doing what it's doing right now, showing you how great it is, you know there would have never been no need for no Noah and his bullshit, especially when the sun could just speak things into manifestation. The only need there was for Noah was to get your dumb ass caught on the hook of that religion shit.
No further for a pre-Christian source than the Epic of Gilgamesh, written in 2600 BC.
Look.
This story talks of a...
Okay, Sumerian, I'm sure. This is what they gave you. This is what you get. And this is going to be enough right here to substantiate them being the launching of the Egyptians. This is all they could find though. You know, no period. We could go all over in Europe and find black caps from pyramids. We could find big gold statues, remnants of our great civilization. But then they want to give you this and tell you this was even greater than Egypt. And this is all they got to show you substantiation of that. This is their scholastic proof of this whole civilization of people. I'm so sick of the Sumerians. They ain't never did nothing except showed up with little stupid shit like this, and they annoy the hell out of me. I'm glad I never had to be around when they was a whole thriving civilization of people. They had to be worse than you white people. If only this little amount of their ass could be around and still irritate the shit out of me as much as it does.
Great flood commanded by God, an ark with saved animals upon it, and even the release and return of a dove, all held in common with the biblical story.
See, here's the deal. All this humanity and all the great stuff that man done did on earth, pyramids and everything, and then here goes some guy that goes into a boat with all the animals, and he's so damn primitive that he let a bird out so the bird could go find out if the water had receded so they could come out of the ark. Couldn't you just walk your ass up on top of the ark and take a peek for yourself? I mean, shit that just doesn't make sense.
Many other similarities. And then there is the plagiarized story of Moses. Upon Moses' birth, it is said that he was placed in a reed basket and set adrift in a river in order to avoid
execution. Now let's not forget that Moses was a little white baby, as we can all see right there. Now he's supposed to went to the wicked Egyptians who took him in. But now this little white Roman baby, okay, Israelite baby, goes in the land of these melanated people and hides under them forever to grow up and become a great, rich, smart-ass Roman Egyptian pharaoh. But for some reason, they never noticed he was white, unless they want you to believe that the Egyptians were white. So if the Egyptians were white, then how come all information about the Egyptians wasn't passed on down the lineage with all the other white people that's still on earth. And then why is it such a secret about what really was? Somebody's lying. I'll tell you why. Because you white people know that the Egyptians were colored people, and you know deep down in your heart that this Moses shit does not have any substantiation, because you're not going to send this white baby around no nationality of black people and they that damn stupid without realizing there's something fishy going on. And you're not going to claim Egypt to be no white civilization, because to this day, we know you guys cannot pull anything off like that, because you'll still be building pyramids, and you wouldn't have destroyed all the damn statues, because they would have been statues of yourselves. And you would have put them in your museums instead of having your museums full of statues of us melanated people. Think about that.
Infanticide. He was later rescued by a daughter of royalty and raised by her as a prince. This baby in a basket store.
As a daughter of royalty. See how they jump around getting to the point. Now, someone was killing the firstborn. Now, the person that was killing the firstborn was afraid of Messiah being born. So they wanted the firstborn of everybody to be destroyed so the deliverer could not surface. Okay, the people that was in charge of things at that time, if they would have been black, that means that deliverer would not have had to be someone outside of their race, because they always known that the sun gods were melanated people, because they were the sun people themselves. So see, it just doesn't have any, it's no strength. It's bullshit. All of it is bullshit. You all know that. Moses, okay, did not take his ass into no house of no pharaohs, looking like this, looking like Santa, without them realizing that they had Santa amongst them. You see, what was going on is that the Egyptians, according to the Bible, were and had enslaved that who called themselves the Israelite people, or the Hebrews. They called themselves Hebrew slaves. And they claimed that there were two different nationalities of people. So they would have had to be some unique characteristics that would have made people understand that Moses were different than them. Now, the only way that Moses would have made sense is that it was one race of people enslaving another race of people that were the same skin complexion. That's the only way Moses should have been able to go into the house of royalty without being detected as being a family member of who should be a slave. That's the only thing that makes sense. Which means if your Moses story is true, it was white people who enslaved Moses' ass, not melanated people. Because according to you, white people, y'all said that us niggas ain't never been smart enough to build no civilizations like that. But the thing about it is that you guys just wasn't smart enough to know how foolish you were for thinking that.
Was lifted directly from the myth of Sargon of Akkad of around 2250 BC. Sargon was born, placed in a reed basket in order to avoid infanticide, and set adrift in a river. He was in turn rescued and raised by Aki, a royal midwife.
See? Out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Out of freaking nowhere they come with this shit. Out of nowhere. No civilization, no nothing. But of course you can see that he's... Ooh. See, you know, here's the deal. Anytime somebody have a story that doesn't corroborate, you know that they're lying. You white people should have a whole history of all this stuff y'all claim for yourselves on record. You know why? Because the only people that enslaved you guys were you enslaving yourselves. So all this record of all this stuff, you should have statues and every damn thing on hand, because your lineage were never, ever torn apart as far as what your history has shown to the world. Your lies make you being the oldest people on earth without ever being enslaved by anyone. You never tell the story of you being enslaved by anyone, except for your lies being in Egypt. And then from there, you still have enough connection to talk about you being in the desert, and then you roaming around murdering everybody else still in their land. You got all that shit archived, but then you can't show no archive connecting you with this, but you have proof of this. According to you right there. There it goes there. So see, it's too many lies being told, and that's the reason why Earth is stagnated, because the people who tell all the lies are in the seat of government, and you lie to keep yourself in the seat of government.
Furthermore, Moses is known as the lawgiver, the giver of the Ten Commandments, the Mosaic Law. However, the idea of a law being passed from God to a prophet up on a mountain is also a very old motif. Moses is just another lawgiver in a long line of lawgivers in mythological history. In India, Manu was the great lawgiver. In Crete, Minos ascended Mount Dicta, where Zeus gave him the sacred laws. While in Egypt, there was Meses, who carried stone tablets, and upon them the laws of God were written.
They don't say nothing about the Asar. You notice that, don't you? But that's all right. They ain't got to say a damn thing to me about me. You know why? Because I'm here to introduce you to myself. So I don't need their help. You will see who I am real soon. Coming soon.
Minos, Meses, Moses.
I see the fires are starting.
As far as the Ten Commandments, they are taken outright from spell 125 in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. What the Book of the Dead phrased, "I have not stolen."
See, it say, "I have not," meaning that they know. See, no one came and told us, "Thou shalt not." No one had to teach us. We had to. The people who was getting instruction, "Thou shalt not," were the white people getting those instructions from us, because y'all didn't know how to act and conduct yourselves. Y'all was barbarians, and y'all was coming around raping our women and stuff. Men trying to have sex with other men. We was like, no. See, we don't do that here. So we had to teach y'all. We would say, "Thou shalt not steal," and they was like, "What? We can't steal." No. What do you mean we can't steal? That's how we get done. No. And don't, whatever you do, don't lie. Don't lie. Are you crazy? We got a whole bunch of lies. We're going to tell on you niggas. No, you can't do it. Please don't do it. Y'all still did it. Damn. But I'm just saying, as you can see right here, I'm sure y'all white folks, with y'all black people hating asses, did not go into Egypt and do the painstaking work of putting this black man on the wall. This is ancient antiquity. See, this is, we can show history, a corroboration of our story, being the people who manufactured as well as built Egypt. So the wealth that you all have is because we tried to help you guys, and y'all stabbed us in the back and stole all our wealth and murdered us and put us in bondage. And that's the reason why our world is destroyed, because you guys can't keep us well-rounded like we can do. Only thing you can give us is war and lies and a bogus religion designed to keep us worshiping you as a God. And we just die and perish. And then eventually that's what you guys do. Because the God essence is going to leave the earth rapidly as much as we leave. You should know that. That's why y'all always steal shit from us and then have to move on. Because once you murder us all off and we all be dead, the ground dies. It's saying, "I'm not sustaining your ass." I told you, just think about it. Some woman is sitting there suckling her child, and somebody grabs her baby and throws it up against the wall and sits their baby there to suckle on her. You know it won't be long before that lady gonna make her milk curdle or cut that baby's throat. Come on. You white people do some stupid shit.
Became "Thou shalt not steal." "I have not killed" became "Thou shalt not kill." "I have not told lies" became "Thou shalt not bear false witness."
No, that ain't what happened. It was, "I have not told lies," because we knew that you weren't supposed to tell lies. And it went from "I have not told lies" from a person confessing to himself, evaluating self, and being able to know that you haven't violated any other negative confessions. But it went from "I have not told lies" to "Thou shalt not tell lies," because we was teaching you white people, in case you didn't hear it the last time I said it. That was that "thou shalt not" shit. When Moses came down and passed the 10 Commandments on, it was not Moses. It was the God Asar passing that information on about what you was not supposed to do. Don't eat meat. Meaning you're not supposed to be cannibals, because you guys were eating each other. I'm telling you the truth. I don't care if you get mad. Just like what's going on now. I know people is eating people right now trying to get the melanin out of it. I know that. I already know what's going on.
This and so forth.
Okay, so thanks for going through that with me. And because I had a real good time with that, and there is a part 3, if you guys want to roll with that, let's go ahead and do it. All right? Because I want to wake you up. I want to inform you how Christianity is really, really confusing us and putting us through a lot of stuff.
In fact, the Egyptian religion is likely the primary foundational basis for the Judeo-Christian theology.
It is. You're damn right it is.
Afterlife, final judgment,
everything.
virgin birth.